Hey everyone, it's Melissa. Today I wanted to talk about just some things that have been on my mind. I got to thinking about things that I really like to do, things that I've gathered over the years, hints, things I've read in magazines, things I've heard on YouTube. Just going back like even over the past 50 years, just things I've asked other women, their questions, just tips, I guess, just little things that I have picked up over the last 50 years. So I just kind of wanted to talk about them today, so I thought I would do that. The first one is the motion of when I clean my face. When I guess it was about 1974, I used Mary Kay Cosmetics. And back then it was about 73 or 74. Back then it was a lot different. It was a younger company. I think it came out sometime in the 60s. And it's just very different from the way Mary Kay is today. And I remember I went to a few parties that consultants held. And I learned quite a few different things, but one of them was about how to wash your face. So what they taught us to do is put your cleanser on and then wipe it off with and I still do this to this day. I never stopped doing it, even using different products. But the consultant said to put your cleanser on and then to use upward strokes, always upward strokes. So going up, she said to go up this way around the neck, go this way on this side on the neck. Then up along the jawline like this, up toward the back of your ears. Then to go this way, this way, this way, this way. And then on your forehead, go like this and like this with a soft washcloth. And then I guess and then go down the middle of your nose like this, kind of like on each side of your nose like this. And then she said to always, anytime you did any kind of work around your eyes, to always use the ring finger. So to go this way and under. And this way and under. So go out on the top, go in underneath, out on the top, in underneath. And she said, do it with your ring finger. That was your weakest finger. And it would really help to keep down the wrinkles around your eyes. So I followed that. It really stuck with me. I followed that. I still do that to this day with a soft washcloth. I use a foam cleanser, but I still take off the foam in those exact same motions. So that really stuck with me for 45 years, 45, almost 50 years. The next one is sleeping on my back. Now, I just think that is so important. Go in there and lay down on the bed on your back and get a mirror and look up at your skin. I mean, it lifts it up. The gravity works with you and it lifts your whole face up, and it's like you're getting a facelift, hours while you sleep. It's kind of amazing if you go look and then go bend down and look down and see what happens to your skin when you look down into the mirror. There's such a big difference. In the late 60s, early 70s, when I was in high school, it was, you wanted to wear your hair straight. And my hair really wouldn't go straight, so I had to sleep on great big rollers. So what I would do is the rollers were so big, I couldn't really sleep on the actual rollers. So I couldn't sleep on my side that way. So I would sleep on my back with the pillow right here on my neck. Like that. So I kind of got used to sleeping on my back that way. What I do now, and I will wake up occasionally on my side, but and then, like I remember when I was pregnant, I had to sleep on my side too, kind of with a pillow between my legs. But what I will do is I will read a book, on my Kindle until I'm just about ready to fall asleep, and I'll close it, and then I'll just sink on down the rest of the way on my back. And that sort of helps if you're almost asleep anyway, just kind of going the rest of the way asleep on your back. And that way you kind of associate sleeping on your back as being very comfortable and makes you sleepy. So sleeping on the back. The next one is using skincare and sunscreen on your ears. I cannot tell you the number of times I have looked at women, beautiful women that, I just really looked at their skin and how pretty it was, and maybe they had on some interesting earrings, and I would look at the skin on their ears and it would just be terrible looking. So sun damage because it hadn't been protected, and probably over the years they'd gotten sunburned. And it has happened with me too, being out in the sun and getting my ears sunburned. So I did notice a big difference when I took my skincare out to all around my ears and then used sunscreen on them. And I don't mention sunscreen as one of these because that's self-explanatory. It's just something that you should do. But always remember to do it on your ears, because you can have nice earrings on and nice skincare and nice makeup and nice clothes, and then your ears, kind of look bad. I've really noticed it in people and on myself too. So that really makes a difference to take care of those ears. I think the things that can age us are our neck, our hands, and our ears. I've decided the ears are up there too. The next one is that made a difference when I started lifting, doing arm weights on the backs of my arms. And, these bat wings, I call them bat wings, that we can get underneath our skin. And like you can move your arms and then those things still going, 10 minutes after you've stopped, they're still flapping in the wind. So what I did was I got two 5-pound weights, and at the same time, here's the way I do it. I pretend to have weights in my arms. I hold them like that and lift up against the gravity. And it really, really builds up these muscles back here. It really is a targeted area of building up those muscles. And it really does help with those bat wings a whole lot. So I did notice a difference. And to me, that's a big thing to do when we get older, because that really shows our age too. Another one that I like to do, and none of these are tried and true. It's just something that I like to do. So take everything with a grain of salt, but I don't like to moisturize. When I put moisturizer on my face, it just drags it down. I mean, it makes my skin so loose. It's like I'm looking in that mirror facing down like that. It just really, really does drag down my skin. I like my skin, if it feels just a little bit tighter, for one thing, I find that I make more oil that way too. If it starts feeling a little bit dry, it's like my skin realizes that it's dry, and so it starts producing more oil. I don't know if that's a scientific thing or not. It just seems to work with me. But when I have oil on my skin or moisturizer on my skin, it sags. Just heavy things or a lot of different layers on my skin, it really makes my skin sag. So I have avoided moisturizer. I really have. Most of the time I've used it before, but I have noticed that my skin is tighter and firmer if I don't use it. So take it for what it's worth. The next one that I really believe in is kind of like the concept of a capsule wardrobe, that you spend money just on a few nicer pieces that are classic and that will, you can work around in your wardrobe, rather than and I do not do this, I'm terrible at this. Instead of spending a lot of money on cheap things that just wear out or go out of style quickly, just having a classic capsule wardrobe. But one thing I do is I have a capsule skincare routine. Now, in this day and age, with YouTube and with commercials, with TV, with Instagram, with everything that is thrown at us, there are so many people and so many companies saying, if you just use this, it'll take away your wrinkles. If you use this, you'll look younger. If you use this, it's the fountain of youth. But if you can get past that and maybe even spend more money just on a couple of things that work for your skin, instead of spending lots of money on lots of different layers that maybe would irritate your skin, maybe would weigh your skin down like it does on me, then I think it's better off. I really do, just to have the products that work for you and not get too distracted. It's hard. It is hard, and it's hard for me too. But if you can do that and not get distracted by so many claims that we see on YouTube, or so many claims that we see everywhere in magazines, it hits us like it never has before, I think. The claims that we will look in our 20s again or whatever. And it's just, if you can find what works best for you to give you the best, healthiest skin you can have, I think that that's something to stick with, and I think you'll be better off financially and with your skin health too. I really do. One thing that has made a huge difference on my body is discovering glycolic acid. I used to would put Retin-A and, on my skincare that I use it on my face and on my neck. I would put it on my chest and on my hands, but I just wasn't as happy with the results. I still had these spots. I inherited from my mother these lovely spots all over our body. Age spots, sunspots, whatever you want to call them. They're not cute freckles, they're spots. And they're ugly, and my mother had them, and I've got them. I'm sure it's an inherited thing. It's just hard not to wear sleeveless here in the South, or short sleeve, because it just gets so hot. And you know, I like to be comfortable, and so I do like to wear sleeveless, and especially on the backs of my arms. When I was in high school, I must have laid out like on my stomach a lot, because the backs of my arms had really a whole bunch of spots on it, and it, you know, it made me a little self-conscious. I mean, I got on with it, but it still made me a little self-conscious. So I realized that the retin-A stuff wasn't gonna really help me much with that. So I discovered glycolic acid. I did some studying, and I learned the different kinds, how the pH was important, how the values of the percentages were important in comparison with the pH and stuff like that. That if the pH wasn't right, even if it said it had a higher percentage of glycolic acid, it really wouldn't be as effective as something with the right pH. That's kind of confusing, but that's what I discovered about glycolic acid. So I started using it, been really, really pleased with it, and my spots are still there, you know, but they're so much faded. They're so much faded and kind of blend into my skin more. And so I'm very pleased. That's acceptable to me. I can not even think about it anymore. I just, you know, hardly even think about my spots anymore. I just do my glycolic acid, you know, and just, you know, go on with it. So I have been pleased with the glycolic acid on my body. Okay, the last three aren't actual physical beauty things. They're more just concepts. So the first one is, if you can stay, I think this is important. I do, from what I've been reading, if you can stay as limber as you possibly can. I know lots of people have limitations, and you know, you should always get a doctor's okay before you do anything. But even with the amount of limitations that all of us have, if you can just stretch and be limber and just be as limber as you possibly can. If you can take some yoga, if you can do stretches, I just really think that helps. I think it helps mentally with your well-being. You just feel open and stretched with deep breaths. I think it helps your posture. I just think those things are really important to stay as limber as possible. I still do exercises that I started doing when I was 14 to try out for cheerleader, to get me to learn to do the splits, to help me learn to do back bends. I still push up into a back bend. I still do the things that I've always done to stay as limber as possible, because that's how important I think it is. I've taken breaks for pregnancies and for surgeries, but I always get back to it, to trying to be as open and limber as I possibly can. I just think it helps me breathe better, and I just think it makes me healthier. So the next one is if we can learn to enjoy our age. You know, we kid. I will kid a lot and say how old I am. Oh, I'm just so old, and stuff like, you know, there's no way I'm gonna let my husband see me walking around naked in broad daylight. He hasn't seen me walk around in broad daylight without clothes on this century, and he's never gonna see me, you know, in any light above a candlelight, you know, just making fun of my age. But I do enjoy my age. I feel freer. I feel not as responsible for things. I can enjoy little things more because I don't have so many obligations. And in some ages, it's hard to enjoy your age, but if we can, I just think it gives us such a healthier attitude about life and about growing older. Because I tell you what, this is something I always try to remember. There are people that would give anything to know they're going to reach the age of 65, but it will not be a possibility for them. So that kind of puts it into perspective, you know, right there. If 'cause I'm getting wrinkles, I'm getting this, I'm getting that, so what? You know, you get to enjoy getting older, and that's a blessing. It really is. So I always try to remember that. You know, we have different obligations at different ages, but if you can really try to cherish and enjoy each time that you are in life, I think that's a blessing if we can learn to do that. Okay, this is my last one. It's another concept. It's to have goals and be excited about them. Now, our goals are going to change over the years as we get older, but we should still have goals that we want to achieve, because when you achieve a goal that you've set for yourself, oh my goodness, you feel so good about yourself. And just because we get older doesn't mean we can't feel good about ourselves. I just think that is really important. And achieving goals can really do that. And I mean, it can be a goal of walking down the street and back. It can be simple goals. It can be more complex goals. When you're younger, it can be goals in your career, or goals, with child care, raising children, goals of, when you got little kids running around, your goal can maybe be taking a shower that day, but if you can have goals even long-term or for the day, I just think it really matters. So having goals, I think, helps you get up in the morning. Whatever your goals are, it helps you get up in the morning. So those are my things that I have been thinking about lately that I have learned from different people over the years, and so I thought I would talk about them today. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm so grateful. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll talk to you all in a couple of days. And thanks again. Bye-bye.